Good afternoon, Dead by Daylight fans. If there's any out there, if there's any of you still playing the game, as we know, Five Nights at Freddy's is coming to Dead by Daylight. And when I heard this, I was a little bit shocked. I thought there's no way because this has been asked for a long time. Do you guys remember when they brought the Hellraiser trailer out and everyone's like 1987, the bite of 87, and the TV was static, and that's how you go through cameras in Five Nights at Freddy's. It has to be Five Nights at Freddy's. And nope, you got slapped in the face with a big old schlong because it was not Five Nights at Freddy's. It ended up being Hellraiser, which nobody was mad about. Really, Hellraiser's an icon. I know I wasn't mad. Shit, people were out there screaming Golden Freddy, but no, it was Pinhead. I want to talk about my pitch and my ideas on how we can bring Five Nights at Freddy's at Dead by Daylight, and I just want to mention it from the jump. All right. This is just my ideas. This is not something that's like, this has to be done this way. This is all subjective. You can hear this and be like, this guy has two brain cells left. And you can completely disagree. And that is fine. That's what the internet is for. I'm just here to at least provide somewhat of an entertainment. But all right, I'm yapping too long. Let's get into what I think. Yeah, damn, son. It's getting hotter than the devil's ass in here. I had to turn on the air, so if you can hear that a little bit, I'm sorry, but I'm burning up. I'm burning up. So I'm going to lay this out in two different categories. My first category is going to be the lesion category, and I'm going to explain on that a little further. And then my other category is going to be called the twins category. So stick with me here. We're going to explain the one that I want to happen and the one that could potentially happen. Obviously, we have no idea what's going to happen. So I'm just going to take my best guess on two things that can possibly happen with these two categories. So the lesion category, there is four people, right? And if I have to mention this first, if you are new to Five Nights at Freddy's and you have no idea what Five Nights at Freddy's is, why are you on this video, brother? Anyways, my idea of what killer they can possibly bring, I don't know if it's confirmed. I don't think it is. I think it might be just Springtrap, which is William Afton. He's in that burnt Bonnie Springtrap suit. Or it could be just the icons, which I think Dead by Daylight will lean more towards, which is just Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, maybe Foxy. If they do like the modern like security breach and they bring the glam rock, and there's just so much skins that can happen for this collab, which is why I'm so excited. But honestly, the way Dead by Daylight works is I think they love to just bring the iconic version of what you think of Five Nights at Freddy's. So we're going to go with the perspective that they're bringing Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, maybe Foxy, right? Those four killers. Now, in my Legion category, there's four Legion members, right? And there's only one killer every time you start the trial. Now, you would just have one power and you can just switch between these skins, which is something I would not want to happen. Honestly, the way Dead by Daylight is now, I think we can possibly bring all of them into one single game. So you can technically be like four killers. It sounds crazy, right? It sounds nuts, but that's what I would want. I would hate it if the Legion version of this came out where there's four people, but every time you start a trial, you can only be one of them and you have one power, and that's just the way it is. So that's what my little noodle is cooking up when I say the Legion theory. Now we're going to talk about what I would want to happen, which is the twins theory. Now, if you just base it off of what I said right now, off of the Legion theory, and now you're going to think about the twins theory, what are you thinking, right? Whenever Charlotte uses Victor, Charlotte shuts the fuck down and you use Victor. Whenever you use Charlotte, you can't use Victor. You see where I'm going here? But we know that all these killers in Five Nights at Freddy's, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, they are all super different. They have their own personality. They have their own story. They like they're interested in different things. So I think Dead by Daylight can really use this theory if they go with the twins theory. Here is something that is a little bit obvious to me. First off, let's say you start the match. You come in as I don't even know what the nickname's gonna be. Something with kid murderers. I don't know. That's what the nickname's gonna be. Dead by Daylight always comes out with a cool nickname for their killers. So let's say you start the trial as one of the Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'm pretty sure you're just going to start as Freddy, and you can, in my theory, you can switch on and off between Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, right? But each one of them have a different power. And because they are animatronics, it is not weird for them to just be stationary and shut down when you are not using them. There's a lot of aspects I can go into. It's kind of hard to plan this out and say one thing first and the next. So I'm going to start off with one that is a little obvious to me. Chica. We all know Chica has this cupcake that she loves, and Chica is a big fan of food. She's always hungry, hence why she carries a cupcake, and she's always wearing a bib. And so we can really play with that cupcake. I feel like when you're Chica, I feel like Chica, in my head, right? Chica can be one of the killers that cannot down you, but they can put you in the men's status. And Chica can be a little faster than the other ones. I know Foxy is the fastest, but Chica can be a little faster, and she can release her cupcake, and it can like try to bite you in the leg as you're running. And then Chica, that doesn't cause the men hit. It's kind of like a little bit like Houndmaster, but the cupcake just bites you on the leg, and you're running a little bit until Chica comes up and hits you. That's when the cupcake gets off of you, and the cupcake gets back on Chica, and you can be in men's status from there, right? Gotta catch my breath soon, cause God it. Now, I did do my research, and I did go back, and I did look at the lore and everything individually in these characters. And Chica's the only one that really stands out with a lot of personality. Bonnie, obviously, it's a dude. Sorry, I almost said she. No, hey, please. Bonnie loves playing the guitar, and my idea with Bonnie is Bonnie can have this hop that can slow you down in a little tiny tear radius. It's just like a tiny jump, right? She jumps, and you know what? I can explain this perfectly. The doctor has an add-on where instead of shooting his electroshock straight, he shoots in a little circle. A shitty add-on, no one uses it. But for Bonnie, this can be a little bigger, and this can just make you stumble. And that would be Bonnie's power. We don't want to make them too overpowered because there's still two other killers in the same trial that we have to go through that you're switching on and off from. So that would be Bonnie's power in my head. Now, I don't know why. I think Foxy should be based around lockers. I don't know what it is. I think Foxy and lockers like just makes sense to me. He's always hiding. In the beginning, in the first Five Nights at Freddy's, Scott hid Foxy from the game until you no shit played the game, and then you saw Foxy there. You were like, who the fuck is this? And yeah, Foxy is the fastest, but he's always like peeking and coming out these curtains. Like he likes to be in his little area. And I think Foxy should be based around lockers. I don't know exactly what. Maybe every time you get into, maybe he can just teleport through lockers, and then when he comes out, you can become any other animatronic you want. That sounds pretty dumb. Or maybe Foxy's just an M1 killer, but he can just sprint to lockers, hide in there for a bit, and you can't come out until like maybe 3 or 4 seconds. And the survivors can't see whenever you run into a locker because, you know, Foxy's Foxy. So whenever you sprint and run out to these lockers, you can look around, and you kind of like a little mini Dredge, but less of a, you know, bring it down a notch from Dredge. I wouldn't make it as fast as Dredge. I would make it a little bit of a cooldown. And Freddy is the one that I really struggled with. I think Freddy is super basic. I think Freddy would be our normal M1, and his main power maybe might just be like his bite, right? Because obviously we don't know who actually bit the crying child in 1987. To me, it looks like Golden Freddy. It might have been that. People are saying it could be Foxy. I don't know. But I think Freddy's power should just be like a bite. I think Dead by Daylight can do something where he just has this massive lunge and it's just a bite. You know what I mean? It sounds pretty basic, but when you combine all of them, it would be pretty cool. I honestly think it would be super cool if Freddy did his iconic pose in Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Hold on, where he's like, you guys know the fucking pose, right? Where He's like laying back, knees up, hands down, and he's like neck is tilted. If he did that pose and he just stayed still for more than 3 seconds and he looked around, he can do a dash and then bite. That's the only time he can dash. You'd have to sit and stay still for like maybe 3 seconds. It'll give the survivors a lot of time. But maybe it could be less than that. I don't know. Something like that would be really cool in my opinion. There's realistically no way for us to predict what Dead by Daylight is going to do. I know I'm probably missing the mark with like Bonnie or like maybe Foxy or Freddy, but I think all these powers cannot be too overpowered because there is 4 of them, right? So now I want to talk about the survivors aspect. I think this is such a cool idea. In order, let's say I'm done using Freddy and I switch over to Bonnie. Whenever I see Freddy staying still as a survivor, I can go up to the animatronic and kind of like either reboot it or diffuse it because it makes sense. These guys are animatronics and they are not being controlled right now. Kind of like the Unknown when you're about to like touch his face or whatever. It can be something like that because these guys are animatronics. You can reboot them, you can defuse them, and every time you switch back to them, they can it'll just take a lot longer for you to start up and actually use that character. The only person you cannot defuse and you cannot reboot is Foxy, because Foxy's gonna be in a locker, obviously. And if Bonnie, if the hop doesn't work, I think Bonnie really likes his guitar. He can maybe like just do one string of the guitar and like a little AoE, like a pyramid head, and it can like hurt your ears and it'll stop you in place for a second. And that's when Bonnie puts his guitar back and then he starts charging at you, and that takes a little bit of time too. And that can be really well used in anti-loop. It's just Freddy and Foxy are the ones I'm having trouble with, but I really like the idea of Foxy with lockers and stuff like that. Let's go with the more realistic option. They might just bring Springtrap, William Afton, and he, like I said, he's that burnt up version of that Springtrap old yellow Bonnie suit. When you think of Springtrap, there is no power that comes to my mind that I'm like, that makes sense for William Afton. We know he's a rageful and jealous and just wants to be the top dog. We know that. But how can we bring that as a power? You know what I mean? Either he gets so vengeful, he starts charging up like a fucking Super Saiyan, or I don't know what can happen with that. I just had this really cool idea on being able to switch between people. Like I said, my twins theory, fusing the animatronics when they're not in use. And I don't know, I think it's a really fun idea, which is so crazy to me because I know you guys have your own ideas as well while I'm talking about this video. And I would love it if you guys commented down below. I would love to know how you guys would bring Five Nights at Freddy's to Dead by Daylight and what powers you would give people. Now tell me, do you like the Legion theory where it's just one killer and you just switch skins and you just use the same power? Or do you like the twins theory, or you think it's a little too much? 4 killers, maybe take out Foxy, just bring the 3 icons. And I would love to know what you guys have cooking up in your little noodle, because you guys probably have way better ideas than me. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You guys probably do have way better ideas, and I love hearing them. I just love theorizing about this stuff because it's fun, it's interesting. And please let me know what you guys would do if it was William Afton, if it was the fucking Springtrap. What would you guys do? If you'd enjoyed this little rant and this little thought, then consider leaving a like. Goddamn. Consider leaving a like. Please comment. I would love to know what you guys are thinking about for this DLC. And like I said, tell me, are you rocking with the twins theory? Are you rocking with the Legion theory? Or would you just want to see Springtrap? Let me know. And if you stayed around to the end, thank you so much. I probably missed the mark a little bit, but it's just my noodle, what's cooking up in there. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one and drink water. So before I end off the video, I do want to mention some things that I saw on Reddit. Somebody by the name of I forgot the name already. Shadow_Night07. They had an idea for William Afton on how they can come into Dead by Daylight, which I think is pretty cool. So pretty much the ability is you be able to go into Phantom mode. I'm gonna show you guys a screenshot here, and if you want to pause it, you can. But pretty much in a nutshell, So you'll have like a phantom mode, and whenever you use your phantom mode, you'll be pretty much undetectable and invisible to survivors 20 meters out. And you could only jump scare survivors that are afflicted with the haunted status effect. Pretty cool, you know. I like that concept. I think that's dope. And any of these survivors who are in the haunted status effect, they can see hallucinations of William Afton and or whoever you want, whoever you think is in the game. All right, so I'm gonna read the second part because it is a little tricky to explain. It says survivors that suffer from haunted will periodically experience hallucinations in the form of phantoms and illusionary yellow rabbits that cause them to scream, interrupting their current action and briefly revealing their location to you. I'm guessing like aura. After 60 seconds of not on a chase, haunted is removed. It's pretty cool. Performing a truistic or cooperative actions will decrease a haunted meter. So I'm not completely sure how the jump scare would work or anything like that, but this is just one example that I'm pulling. There is so much examples out there, and this is just one I wanted to share because I didn't really go into William Afton as much. So I thought that was super cool.